have to say, oh, what was that noise? I have to say I'm very, very excited about this. What's actually happened is, as some of you know, first of all, to get my YouTube channel, to be able to do YouTube lives, I had to get 50 subscribers. It was quite interesting because my subscribers went up to 50 within, I think it was 2 weeks from starting my channel. And I know it's because all these people were wanting to support me to get my channel up and running. And then I found out that I needed an Android 5.0, and I didn't actually know what that was. At the time, I thought it was a certain type of phone or something. And then when I went down to a Telstra shop the other day, because I had an appointment down in Midland, Perth, so I was like, went down there and went to the Telstra shop. I didn't know what to expect. Then they say, oh, that's just your software, that's just an upgrade. It actually is a new phone. Like, you upgrade to the new phone with all the new software. So the one I've got is a Samsung S22, which is one I had before was an S7. And that says it all, guys. That says how old my other phone was. And the real super duper wham bangle updated one is 2023. Oh, sorry, Samsung 23 or whatever. Anyways, I asked, and the one under this one that I've got, it's on a plan, blah, blah, blah. Talk to them about the difference in pricings and what it was for, and let them know that it was for a business, that I'm wanting to use it for my business. So we didn't go for the cheaper version. So I've gone for mid-range, high mid-range. And Murphy's Law, within 1 week, what a crack in the screen. But it's a really subtle one. It's a really hairline fraction one. Funny though, because the other phone I had a crack in the screen the whole time. And like, when I got this new phone, it was so nice. It had no crack in the screen. It was so nice. And then I noticed 2 days ago there was a crack in the screen. But as I said, it's really a super duper hairline one because I basically got a screen protector put on straight away, which I think protected it. Makes sense, guys. Like, I've got dogs. I don't know when it happened, like how it happened. But, these things happen. and anyways, I can't see it except for if I'm trying to watch a video or something at night and I have it sideways. So, not complaining, guys. But, wow. And then I went to activate my YouTube live after I got my phone. And the process was so huge. It was ridiculous. I mean, but that's okay. I'm not complaining again. And I thought, I don't know how to get it activated. And then today I went to do a video. I thought, I'll just check if the YouTube activation somehow gone through, because all the processes it wanted me to go through, I kept doing it, but it wouldn't confirm that I'd succeeded, you see. So I sort of gave up on it. Well, no, it's too much. Can't cope mentally. I can't cope with that. I'll let that one go. Deal with that one later. And lo and behold, somewhere along the line, I have succeeded with the activation. Yeah, yeehaw. And then today, I got the surprise of my life when I pressed the go live button, and instead of saying you must activate, it actually then asked me to go through the process of setting up my first live. So I was like, woohoo, yeah. But to tell the truth, I wasn't prepared for a professional YouTube live. This is my first YouTube live, and it's not professional at all. Like most of my videos, it's just me rambling through the fields with my dogs, talking. But what I will do is talk to you about my process of trust and my process of my YouTube channel. And I almost gave up on it so many times. So many times I've almost given up on this channel because I think I'm not presenting it well enough. Who am I to do this channel? All the doubts, ridiculous. And then I kept saying to myself, Nadina, you are doing this for yourself more so. The reason why I started this channel, everyone, and I will remind you all what this channel is all about, raw, authentic vlogging. It's like a lifeline. It's to teach and show everyone everything. Oh, Xena! That's little Xena. So naughty, Xena. Sorry, they just ran right behind my legs. Got me right, excuse me. Good Lord. Got me right behind the back of just under my knees, and that was, she's too, look, I tell you what happened, guys, they're a bit manic at the moment because they didn't get a big run yesterday, so I can tell you if I didn't have a YouTube live, I would have chastised her a lot more for that, but I'll let it go for the moment. I have to be very careful they don't run into me because they're a little bit manic at the moment. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're having so much fun. I'm trying to stay focused. So basically, I have all these ideas and ventures. I have all these, as I've shared in so many of my videos. I've got a structure and a plan. I've got all these written down information and all these ways that my YouTube channel is going to look in the future. And that's how it will be, and that's my vision. But I had too many people say, just start it now. Sorry, I've just got a bit of an obstacle here. I'm not sure which way to go. I'll go up. I just had too much support saying, just start now. Just get it happening. Just do it. And it's really interesting because ever since I started this YouTube channel, and I've been watching all these other YouTube channelers, a couple of them said, I just started with an old phone. And I thought, okay, cool. So this is a relatively normal way to start. And I mean, I've heard of people starting businesses with an old van. They started landscape. My husband started his landscaping business just with an old van. He's not in that business now, and he built that up to getting 2 vans and some employees. One, I just think that one, and they hired someone. Blah blah blah. It built up to a bit of a business with a name, and they had all these different outfits and uniforms and this and that and business cards and rah. But he literally started that business just with 1 van and put an ad in the newspaper. And I've heard of heaps of people that have just started a business small. They were humble about it, they were brave about it, and they just did it. I remember when I started my real estate property condition report business, it was literally just going cold canvas to different real estates and saying, I'm a really good cleaner. So I'll either clean the properties for you for the ones that have already got the reports made, or I can do the reports for you. I've owned my own houses, I've private real estate, my own properties from interstate. I've helped other people manage their properties, boom, got work straight away. I think it was within a month they wanted to promote me to assistant principal of one of the real estate offices in Perth. It was Rain and Horn in East Perth, and I was like, no, I'm not ready for that. I really balked at that responsibility. I thought, no, I can't handle that responsibility, sorry. But I was really amazed at how quickly they could see my worth and my ability. And so I know, and that's why I've got lots of success stories like that in my life. So that's why when I started this YouTube channel, just simply and just got it up and running, I thought, just do it, just get it happening. Speak as you need to, do it as you need to, trust the process, trust the flow. Now, when I first started this YouTube channel, as any of you who've been following me, you know I was in very deep remorse, very deep. What is going on? Because everything in my life didn't make sense. Nothing made sense. And I thought, well, you know what? I've got to get some financial security, so I might as well start by creating my therapy business. It's eventually going to become a therapy business. It's eventually going to lead to me getting known enough that then my books, when they get out there, my name will be known. Like, it's a start. It's a start. You know, like, the books are nowhere near being finished because I haven't even got the study library space organised yet for writing. And you could say that's an excuse. Why is that excuse still there? There is a fear. I do have a fear of being successful. And, you know, the same with the therapy business, with my university training, and why won't I finish my degree? Why am I blocking myself from finishing my degree that will give me that actual qualification, that piece of paper that means that people can apply for Medicare? And I can, I can get care plans. I can get clients. Don't you dare, Alvin. I can get care plans from doctors and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. These are things I look at, all right? And there's many of us that have fear of success because when we stay small, a lot of us know failure and small quite well. Those of us who've been abused or haven't had much support in our life. I was illiterate till I was 12 because I wasn't sent to school. I went to school about, maybe 1.5 or 2 years, up until I was 12, completely illiterate. And look, the only reason I even got sent to that school, guys, was because, one, I was growing up on a commune, you see. I didn't grow up on a commune my whole life. Initially I grew up in the ghettos of America, and we're all over the place. My mum, there's a really sad story around my upbringing, the beginning of my upbringing. But eventually, my mother was trying really hard. I've never asked her, was it my mother or my father, but one of them got us to Australia on the white immigration policy. So they were desperate to get white people into Australia, right? Disgusting policy. So my father, my mother, my brother and I got our visa, the plane ticket, the visa, and the citizenship all paid for. I think it was by Australian government. And so we came over to Australia when I was 6. And I've had the blessing of growing up in Australia. Now, I've got a feeling that it was my mother. I think it was my mother that set this up. And when I write my books, which will not be about me at all, it'll be about the process of staying authentic. Whoa, Zena. Staying authentic in amongst grief and traumatic upbringings and experiences, and how to remain. Look, I'm not even going to go into my books just yet. I refuse to get off topic. I've got no theme for this particular video except for trust. So I'll talk about the theme of the books later. There's going to be more than one. But basically, I think my intuition says it was my mum. My mum was desperate. She was desperate to try to create some form of safety for my brother and I. My father, who blessedly died when I was 7, he was a psychopathic monster, just abusive to everyone, horrendous, absolute monster. And so upon arriving in Australia, not long after that, my mother got the safety and the freedom that she so needed, and so did my brother and I. And one of the ways she carried that, but my mother's on the spectrum. One of the ways she did it was she found people, community people. So we went from the ghettos of America and really extreme. And you have to also understand, my mother came from wealth. This is the disgusting thing. My mother actually came from wealth, but her father disowned her because she married a Protestant. She was a Catholic, and I think that's disgusting, because my mother went to my grandfather with blood all over her, begging for help, and he said, "You made your bed, you lay in it." But she couldn't even speak. They used to give her electric shock treatment. You know what I mean? So you don't just throw someone out just because they get married. She was young, and she was really tricked into that marriage, She was tricked into that marriage because my father could see that he could control her. He knew he could control her. So, awful situation. Look at this beautiful ground. Lots of love colours. So anyways, the segue to all that is my mother saved us and saved herself. And one of the ways she did that was by getting involved in a group with a big group of hippies. And so we grew up on a commune, and a fantastic way to grow up. So I grew up in the bush, in the commune, no electricity, but everybody was no running water. But one of the, all the adults are like so against authority, and, so, yeah, education wasn't perceived as anything required or special. So when I was 12 and I got taught how to write, this lady, I wish I could use names, but anyway, this lady has saved my life. She came to visit my mum on this community. I think she met my father and my mum when they first came over, because they told me they met my dad. So basically, when they came to visit, and I don't know why they chose to come to visit, but they did anyway. They came to the community to come visit, and she actually said, she was a teacher as well, and she says, I need to take Nadina. She needs to learn how to read. She needs to be educated. So I ended up living with them, you see, for a while. And I got hothoused because not long after I got picked up by this friend of my mum's, the teacher at the school that I got enrolled in said I would like to take her on, have her live with me and hothouse her. So if you research hot housing, it's actually intensive teaching. It's like flashcards, and what hot housing does is you can get a child by the time they're 3 months who can, by the time they're 2, they can read fully. Kids by the time they're 7 or 9 have finished a university degree. Like absolutely insane stuff. Kids come out of the womb and they can speak. Like, it's insane what the brain's capable of. So basically I got hothoused, and within 3 months I went from completely illiterate to pretty much top of the class with my literacy skills, but never my numeracy skills, which is interesting because I think maths, just got to be mindful of this. See how we've got a little, I've got to be, okay, so basically, literacy, writing my books, can't wait. So trusting the process of that, the journey, what I'm going to write about, everything. But back to this YouTube channel, you know, something that I've shared with so many of you, and most people know this about me, but my very first sexual abuse memory happened when I was 21. Sorry. I remember the sexual abuse from my stepdad, all right, the father of some of my sisters. I remember the abuse from him because I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So I remembered that. And it wasn't horrifying, horrific type of abuse. It was not nice stuff, but it wasn't like absolutely horrifying stuff. But I had to do a lot of protecting. I had to protect my mum and my siblings from this person, and from all these other people as well. It was horrible. There's horse hooves here. People are riding their horses in here. But anyways, my point of the story is, when the first really major sexual abuse memory I ever had was when I was 21. And it was when I was in the process of feeding my firstborn child. And the thing that I remember about it the most, which is sort of funny, is that I was in the middle of feeding her. So I had the spoon out to feed her, right? Or the she that was born. My firstborn was born a daughter. And now my firstborn is a non-gender. But back then my firstborn was my daughter. And she basically, I was in the middle of feeding her. She was 1.5. And I think it's the right of a mother to be able, when they're reflecting on a past experience of their firstborn who's become a non-gender, when that firstborn was a daughter, and at that point they were a daughter and a she, I personally think that's my right to call my child at that time a she, because at that time, for that memory, my experience with that little being when they were 1.5, that little child was a she, and she was my daughter. Now that person is a non-gender and a they, but back then they were a she, okay? So that's no disrespect there, guys. It's my right as a mother to be able to use the pronoun of how I remember my firstborn in that actual moment, okay? So in that moment, my firstborn was a daughter and a she, okay? So I will use the word she from any past memories of my firstborn, and that's not disrespectful, okay? So basically, I was feeding my daughter, had a spoonful of food to feed her. went and had this horrendous flashback, like went right back to when I was 1.5, 2 or 3. Went right back to a memory. Like I was right back then in the body as it was happening, like right in the body as the experience was occurring. So sights, sounds, smells, feelings, everything. I was completely in the body of me when I was, I actually thought I was about 3, but now I'm starting to think I was younger. So about 1.5, 2, okay? So boof, right back into a little 2-year-old's body, or right back into 1.5-year-old's body. Because I actually think there's something about my daughter's age that shot me into that memory. So that's why I think I might have been 1.5. And so basically, shot back into the little 1.5-year-old's memory as the little 1.5-year-old was being horrendously sexually abused. This is what I'm walking through right now. It's quite disgusting. I have to be a bit careful. I shouldn't have come down this way. Oh, we've had a fair bit of rain lately, so we've got some more water coming up. Yeah, so shot straight back into that horrendous memory. Sight, sound, smell, feelings, everything. It was just horrifying. And then when I came back from the memory, my firstborn was sitting there going, waiting for her food. And that's why I was like, oh, how long did I have that flashback for? Like, how long was that going for? And she's like, where's the food? Where's the food? And I distinctly remember going, oh, and in a daze, because I just got shot back into me when I was 1.5, and then poof, back into my current reality. And then went, oh, and I, in a daze, put the food towards my firstborn, who then ate the food, and then I sort of on automatic kept feeding the rest of the food. And then I was really thinking about the memory, and then I chose to ring my mum about a day or 2 days later. And this was pre-mobile phone days, and yeah, prepped my mum and everything. Oh no, not that memory I didn't prep her for. No, sorry, no. That's no. That's not the memory I prepped her on. It was a different memory. Sorry about that. No. I didn't ring my mum. I might have rung my mum just to talk to her, but it was actually another memory that was the very first memory I brought to her attention. And she was so beautiful about that memory I brought to her attention, because she validated it, you see? She validated it. And yeah, it's just incredible. See this big riverbank, just all empty. But in winter it's going to be full of water. So anyways, that first memory, that very, very, very first flashback, which I've shared with you a few times, was really pertinent because I just want to show you this before I continue. Can you see the flow of the river? You can see the flow, and then how it was going around it. I don't think the camera brings it up. I just find all this stuff so beautiful. So basically, in that first memory, when I got flashed back to me at 1.5, and I was dying, I was being suffocated with the, I had the, I'm not sure, still got to learn about the YouTube rules, where you can and can't say. But anyways, I had the phallus, suffocating me, and it was splitting my mouth, and the hairs were up my nostrils. I was completely suffocated. My nostrils were squashed. My throat was completely filled up, and everything was just really, I couldn't breathe. And I had this pressure on my chest as well. So I actually was suffocating. I was dying, okay? I was actually dying from suffocation. And that's where I went back to the memory, was when I was actually dying from suffocation. I went back to the time when I was actually just about to die. Or not long before I was about to die. So in all the years that I started to evaluate what this was about, I realised that me at 21 went back to save me at 1.5. That's all I can put it down to, is I went back to save her, to give her that extra energy or something. I don't know, there was some sort of connection between me at 1.5 and me at 21. But then what happened was, when I was there and I was suffocated, I went back to the flashback. there was another voice, an angelic voice, going, you had to survive. So when I'm in my little baby body, so I've gone back as a 21-year-old into my little 1.5-year-old, and I'm suffocating, I'm dying, everything's blacking out. And then I hear this, you have to survive, the world needs you, you're a teacher. And then, sorry, I've been sanding plaster, it's in my throat, silica, and sawdust. And unfortunately lead paint, I didn't realise it, but I think the paint that I was sanding was lead paint as well. Stupid. So basically, I heard it really clear as a 21-year-old, and my 1.5-year-old heard it too. You must stay alive, the world needs you, you're a teacher. I remember the little 1.5-year-old, I know, I don't want to survive this. Now back then I didn't realise it, but my little 1.5-year-old had already had experienced already 1 year of abuse, okay? So back then, when I was 21, I went back to my 1.5-year-old. I didn't know that the little one had experienced abuse earlier than that, up until June 2022. So it was last year that I had the memories that went back even further. So up until 21, I thought my first experiences were around when I was 1.5. But then when I hit 51, I realised that no, they started much earlier. But anyways, when I went back to my little 1.5-year-old, she had already experienced over a year worth of this horrendous abuse, and she'd had enough, right? Maybe that's why my little 21-year-old got projected back, just to give that little bit of extra boomph energy or something. I'm not sure. It's all very esoterical and amazing, and this is why I can't start writing my books, and can't wait to start writing my books, and can't wait till I get my YouTube channel really up and running so I can get really interactive with people and hear how many other people have similar stories about how they survived their years of abuse. Because I know most of us survive because of miracles. Most of us survive because of something that just doesn't make sense, like something that's godly, something that's supernatural. Most people will say to you, I don't know how I got through that. So they didn't get through it on their own, okay? We can say that. We definitely didn't get through it on our own. Yep, just came back from that memory with that very clear message. You must stay alive, the world needs you, you're a teacher. And the interesting thing is that 21, when I came back from that flashback and I was in front of my daughter at the time, and she's waiting for me to feed her, I was like, oh, that's where that you're a teacher comes from. So at 21, I went, oh, that's where that philosophy comes from. Because my whole life, since I was tiny, I've had one mantra. The world needs me, I'm a teacher. Did not know where it came from. Never heard it from an adult. Never heard it. No one actually said it to me. No one actually said, you must stay alive, the world needs you, you're a teacher. It was that memory from that baby. Amazing, right? And so at 21, when I realised that, I was like, whoa, that's fascinating. That's where that determination of I have to stay alive, the world needs me, I'm a teacher came from. And in all honesty, peoples, I hated that. There's been so many times when I hated that I felt this pressure to stay alive, because when I was a little one growing up, especially when I was a young teenager, and 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, there were so many times. I remember having a motorbike accident once. Yeah, I had a motorbike accident once. I was going way too fast. Stupidly fast. And having a ball of a time going on these dirt tracks and blah, blah, blah. Lost control. Going around a corner. And saw a tree in front of me, this barbed wire fence to the left of me, a bankment to the left of me, a big barbed wire fence to the left. And so easily could have just gone sliced through that barbed wire fence. Like, I could see it coming. I could see it coming, and I wanted it. I wanted to slice up in that barbed wire fence. I think I was 15 or something. I wanted that barbed wire to slice me up. Didn't have my sexual. I don't know what you're allowed to say anymore on YouTube. I didn't have those memories, right? Didn't have them. Didn't know why I had this grief and this despair this ache that I just could never get rid of. This perpetual ache. And I was a cigarette smoker back then for about a year and a half. I think I was a real full-on cigarette smoker, and was never a drinker or anything like that. And I had this wreath of cigarette smoke around me. I used to wear heaps of bracelets, and I used to wear like heaps of earrings, like from here all the way up to here, and I'd bracelets all the way down, those studs and stuff, really, full-on necklaces, like. And the smoke was like a wreath of protection, I realised. And, yeah, it was quite full on. Back then I had, I had cut my hair, it was short, spiky. I used to wear really lots of black clothes and just trying to look really ominous, like, don't come near me, that type of energy. Yeah, so I distinctly remember that. And then I remember when I came off the bike, and all that happened was I smashed into the bike, slid out, right? So much so that before it even got near the tree, near the bankment or near the fence, it slid out, and and it just went sort of sideways, and I sort of just went boop, onto the ground like nothing. Like, what? That could have been a death experience. It was like and I pick up the bike, just kickstart and go, oh. So there's heaps of really weird memories like that in my life, hey? And I remember not wanting to live to 20 at all. And then, I met this guy who was a psychopath, and now he's on the convicted pedophile list and everything like that. Worst man ever to have children with, but, we often choose terrible, 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 terrible people as our first partners when we have had terrible upbringings. And, he was a terrible guy, and my poor darlings have had some terrible experiences as a result. But yeah, we were like young, little teenagers going, oh, let's have a baby. And I realised now in hindsight he was just trying to control me. That's all it was. But we're the same age and stuff and blah, blah. So I stupidly was doing really well in year 11, left high school, started life with this guy. Obviously the abuse crept in really quickly. I left him when I was 3 months pregnant with my firstborn. And, we're sleeping on the beach and everything. Like, we were homeless and had a pretty full-on beginning, actually. But... so meeting him, created for me to have a child young. That's right. So 17 and a bit. And I was doing so well at school. I was doing so well. I was at such a crossroads. I was doing so well at school, and he's gone. And had a big group of friends, had an amazing, beautiful boyfriend. He would have been really great for me. And then when he met me again after my firstborn was born, he even then was like, I want to look after him, I want to look after the baby. And I didn't feel like I was good enough for him. I didn't want to ruin his life. So he gave me 2 chances to let him love me. But I didn't believe I was worthy of his love. I didn't believe I was worthy of such a good guy. So I broke his heart to choose the idiot. And even when my good guy reached back out at me to say, yeah, please let me look after you and this little one, even then I wouldn't let him. Isn't that sad? But that's normal, peoples. That's normal for people who've got low self-esteem and abuse history. And you have to remember, back then I didn't even know I had abuse history. My son in Germany, it's his birthday, and he just texted me to say now's a good time to ring him. So I'm going to ring him. I'll deal with this video later. I love you guys. I'm so glad I've got YouTube Live. I'm going to talk to my son in Germany. I'm so excited. I love him so much. But he was born in 1992. So I'm not very good at maths, so I don't know what age he is. And he's probably going to ask me. He's probably going to ask me what age he is, because I've lost track of time. Anyways, lots of love. I'll speak to you guys later. I'm so happy to have YouTube Live up and running. I promise you they won't all be rambling like this. They're going to get so much better all the time. I have so much that I want to do with this channel. I'm so excited. Today's just a bit of a... It's nice not having the video tick over and thinking it's just going to switch over. And I've seen people come on and leave. They don't leave messages. That's okay. I can understand why no one's left a message today. It's not like it's an amazingly exciting topic or anything like that. Quite confronting, really. But trust, guys, trust. I'm trusting. I'm still going to keep on going with this YouTube channel. I'm going to trust. I trust that I'm going to be able to step up to provide what it is I really want to provide. And there's Zena, almost run into me. I'm going to trust that I'm going to be able to provide what I envisage that I can provide. I'm going to trust that my numbers... I need 1,000 subscribers to have unrestricted YouTube access, YouTube video live access. After I get 1,000 subscribers, I think I can do the interactive stuff. So I know I'm not providing enough for people to really want to share and like and, you know, recommend and everything. But if you guys can have faith and trust that I've been planning this since 19... Oh, Zena! That's enough. That's the third time today, Zena. Third time you've hit my legs. Look at this naughty one. Third time you've knocked me over. Gentle. My good Lord. Oh, she was looking at me. You might not have seen the look, but she was looking at me like, help. Yeah, right. The first time I nearly fell right over, hey. I just want to quickly synopsize this. 1996 is when I... 1996 is when I first started planning this business, all right? When I was down in Margaret River. Not a new venture at all. I've been prepping for it, planning for it. I've got archives. I've got all these plastic archive boxes full of information ready to collate, turn to curriculums. I've already started heaps of it. I've got all these workbooks. I'm going to get really savvy with how to use computers so I can actually PDF the workbook pages and the workbooks, and I'm going to ask for small donations for the workbooks. I'm going to be very business savvy about it, because in the past when I had businesses, I had a sewing business, and in the past I never charged enough. You know what I mean? I'm going to get on to my son. I haven't forgotten him, don't worry. I've never actually ever really charged what I'm worth up until the last 2 years. So what I've been doing lately is when people ask for painting, gardening, or I say $50 an hour, and so I go, oh, that's a bit much. I'm thinking, I'm worth $85 an hour, mate. If you saw the quality of my work, I'm 2 people. I work like 3 people, if not 2. I'm so worth $50 an hour. So, yep, take it or leave it, your choice. So I really learnt my worth. That's this whole experience of being in Northern. Gentle. This whole experience of being in Northern for me, and this whole experience of everything. Like, gosh, I just couldn't talk enough about everything I've been learning. Look at that beautiful, I don't know if you can see it, the beautiful view. Oh, I better get on to my son. But anyways, I just want to say that everything I've been learning has been leading me to this self-worth stage that I'm in right now. And my gosh, I've got so much to share with you what I've been learning. It's so exciting. And I know for a fact that my YouTube channel and what I've got to share is going to save lives. And it's going to shorten people's grief and despair. The wisdom that I've learnt through my life, if anyone takes it on, what I've got to share about what I've learnt and how to get to where I am now, you guys could save yourself 20 years of grief. 20, 30. If I knew when I was in my early 20s what I know now, my life would look completely different. My children's life would be completely different. And there's simple techniques, it's simple awareness, it's simple knowledge. My voice is powerful. I've got a lot of really important testimonies and skill sets and so much. And I am professional. I was a high distinction university student. When I dress up, people think I'm a CEO. I've got that ability. I know I'm an OCD perfectionist. I know what's involved to present things and market things and make things look good. But I started this channel just humbly, just to get it started, testing the waters, doing it for me. Okay, so I urge any of you that see any merit in anything I've said or anything I do and any of my promises to start liking my videos, because that's really important, to share them, to promote them, get my numbers up. Because once I've got my numbers up to 1,000, then I can start doing interactive interviews, live, YouTube live, interactive interviews. All right, this is exciting stuff, peoples, okay? Mwah. Love you guys. Keep well. Got to work out how to turn this off. All right. Woohoo! Yay! Yay for life, hey? See ya. Bye. Trying to turn off. I'm learning a new phone. Oh, that's not working. How do I turn off my video? Oh.